You move through your life believing you are free. You think your choices are your own, your desires are organic, and your emotions are a pure reflection of your soul. This is the most profound illusion a human can live under. In reality, you are a puppet. Your strings are being pulled every single day by forces you have been trained not to see. Your boss pulls them with the promise of a promotion. The media pulls them with headlines engineered to provoke your fear. The people you love pull them with the currency of guilt and approval. You are dancing to a rhythm composed by others, all while believing you are the one who chose the song. Today, you will stop being the puppet. I will not teach you how to cut the strings. That is a fool's errand. I will teach you how to see them. And once you can see the strings, you can begin to pull them yourself. This is the first and most critical step. In the Machiavellian art of control, you must stop participating in the play and become a spectator. Machiavelli wrote, "He who neglects what is done for what ought to be done sooner affects his ruin than his preservation." This means you must abandon the childish fantasy of how the world should be and observe how it is. The world is not a fair and logical place. It is a theater of competing self-interests, a chaotic dance of fear, greed, and ego. The prey is lost in this dance. He is emotional, reactive, and transparent. The predator, however, sits in the audience, watching. He does not get swept up in the drama. He studies the actors. He notes their vanities, their insecurities, their unspoken desires. He becomes a cold, detached observer of human nature. This is your first training. For the next week, your mission is not to act, but to watch. In your office, do not just listen to what is said in meetings. Watch who looks at whom when a decision is made. Observe who interrupts and who yields. That is the map of the real hierarchy, the one that has nothing to do with job titles. In your social circle, watch how praise is used as a tool to extract favors. Notice how gossip is used to isolate one person and elevate another. In your own family, observe how guilt is wielded to enforce obligation. You must become a student of the invisible currents of power that flow beneath the surface of every human interaction. At first, this will feel cynical, but soon you will feel a cold clarity descend upon you. You are no longer a confused actor on the stage. You are the director, sitting in the darkness, beginning to understand the mechanics of the entire production. This is the foundation of control. You cannot control a game you do not understand, and you will never understand the game as long as you are busy playing your assigned part. Now that you can see the strings, you must learn to pull them. To the amateur, control is about force, demands, and direct commands. This is loud, inefficient, and creates resistance. The Machiavellian predator understands that true control is silent and surgical. It is not about forcing the puppet to move, but about making the puppet want to move in the direction you have chosen. To do this, you need to master the three primary levers of the human soul: their self-interest, their fear, and their ego. The first lever is self-interest. Machiavelli knew that men are fundamentally greedy for gain. Everyone around you wants something: status, security, validation, pleasure. Your task is to identify that core desire in your target and position yourself as the gatekeeper to it. The art is not to give them what they want, but to control their hope for it. To your subordinate who craves recognition, you offer the possibility of a future promotion, making them work harder for the illusion. To a potential business partner, you paint a vivid picture of the profits they will gain by aligning with you. You are not selling a product or a service. You are selling them a better version of themselves, a version that only you can unlock. They will follow you not because you command them, but because they believe that following you is the fastest path to their own ambition. The second lever is fear. Machiavelli's infamous declaration that it is safer to be feared than loved is the cornerstone of control. Love is unreliable, but fear is a constant. The modern predator does not use the fear of physical harm. He uses a more sophisticated arsenal: the fear of loss, the fear of social exclusion, and the fear of irrelevance. You create this fear not with threats, but with boundaries. When you establish a clear consequence for disrespect and enforce it without emotion, people learn to fear the cost of crossing you. When you strategically withdraw your attention or presence from someone, they learn to fear losing access to you. This silent, controlled application of consequence is infinitely more powerful than an angry outburst. Anger shows you have lost control. A cold, calculated consequence shows that you are the one who defines it. The third lever is their ego. Men, as Machiavelli noted, are simple creatures, easily swayed by flattery when it affirms their own self-image. The predator masters the art of the psychological mirror. He learns to see people as they see themselves and reflects that image back to them. To the man who believes he is a strategic genius, you praise his foresight. To the woman who prides herself on her empathy, you commend her compassion. This is not cheap flattery. It is strategic validation. By validating their ego, you lower their defenses and make them deeply susceptible to your influence. They see you not as a manipulator, but as one of the few people who truly gets them. Once this bond is formed, you can guide them. You can plant ideas in their minds that they will adopt as their own, all because their ego has been sedated by your masterful performance of understanding. These three levers, used in concert, allow you to control the motivations of those around you, guiding their actions while they remain convinced of their own free will. You can see the strings. You can pull the levers. The final stage of mastery is to transcend the need to pull them at all. This is the end game of control, to create a reality where your will is executed effortlessly, where people align with your desires not because you are actively manipulating them, but because your very presence has become a force of nature. This is when you cease to be the puppeteer and become the gravitational center of your own universe. The key to this state is the masterful construction of your appearance, your legend. Machiavelli declared, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." The ultimate form of control is to build an appearance so powerful and consistent that it becomes your armor and your primary weapon. This is the aura of command. It is forged through unwavering emotional control, strategic scarcity, and the reputation for decisive action. When you consistently project an image of calm, unshakable authority, people stop testing you. They assume you are always in control, that you are always 5 steps ahead. They begin to police themselves in your presence, careful not to fall short of the standards you silently project. Your mystique does the work for you. By revealing little of your true thoughts and emotions, you become a blank screen onto which others project their fears and hopes. They will overestimate your power and underestimate their own ability to challenge it. This is effortless control. It is the quiet leader in the boardroom whose opinion is sought last, because it is the one that carries the most weight. He does not need to argue. His silence has already shaped the conversation. It is the individual in a social circle whose rare appearances are events and whose quiet approval is more valuable than the loud praise of others. His scarcity has made him a prize. In this state, you are no longer playing chess. You have become the chessboard itself. The rules of the game are dictated by your boundaries. The movement of the pieces is influenced by your gravity. People will bring you opportunities, information, and loyalty, not because you demanded it, but because aligning with you is perceived as the most strategic move they can make for themselves. This is the dark art of control, in its final form. It is not about tyranny. It is about becoming the architect of your own reality. It begins with the cold clarity of observation, moves through the surgical application of psychological leverage, and culminates in a state where your reputation becomes your silent, tireless enforcer. Most people will remain puppets their entire lives, tossed about by emotions and the wills of others. But you are no longer most people. You have seen the strings, you have learned the levers, and now you understand that true power is not about controlling everyone around you. It is about creating a world where, in your presence, they have no choice but to control themselves.